Hello everyone, thanks for having the opportunity to talk here today. So today I present my R package BigStatter, which provide memory and computational efficient tools for big matrices that are stored on your disk. And so I'm a PhD student in predictive human genetics in France. And so basically, I'm trying to predict your risk of disease based on your DNA mutations and also some other informations. And these DNA mutations are in the form of very large matrices. Yeah. So, for example, I studied one dataset that would take 30 gigabytes of RAM if stored at the standard R matrix. And now I'm studied another one, which takes 2 terabytes of RAM if stored as a standard R matrix. But I still want to use R, and the solution I found is to have the data as a binary file on your disk, but to access it almost as it were in memory, thanks to memory mapping. And this kind of data is called FBM. You can create one with these functions, and you see that now it's stored on your disk, but you have similar accessors as a standard R matrix. And for example, you can access all the data in memory with only 2 square brackets. For example, if you want to compute the call sums of this kind of data, you can do it like this, but recall that the goal is not to have all the data in your memory, in the RAM. So you have to think about what you do and use some special algorithms for this kind of data. And an easy strategy to apply an R function to this kind of data would be the split apply combine strategy. So for example, you can take only a block of columns at a time, apply a function to each of these blocks, and then combine the results. And it's implemented in the big apply functions. And also in RCPP, you have similar accessors as the standard RCPP matrices, so that you can implement or convert some of your existing RCPP code just as easily as adding the 2 first line of code that are showing there. And for example, I used RCPP and package RSpectra to implement a partial singular value decomposition. And for example, for a quite large matrix, if you want to take the 10 first principal components, it takes only 1 minute on my computer, and base R would take like 2 hours. And I also have like penalized linear models on logistic models, and I use that to predict complex disease based on DNA mutations. And you can see here the results, and it's very fast because it takes only 2 minutes for a data that would take like 30 gigabytes of RAM. And there are also other functions like matrix operation, association of each variable with an output, plotting function, and so on. And most of the functions in this package are parallelized. And you can parallelize also your own function with the big parallelize function that I provide in this package. So what you have to remember out of this talk is that I'm now able to run algorithm on 100 gigabytes of data in R and on my computer, so desktop computer in my lab, for example. And this package is published with another package in the Bioinformatics Journal. So basically, BigStatter that I'm presenting today can be used by any field of research or not research. And the other one is BigSnipper, but it's specific to my field of research. And I've worked a lot on these 2 packages. And I've come to a point, I think I can't do much more without help. So I'll be glad to have contributors to bring more possibility to our users that want to analyze large matrices on their computer. And you can find this presentation online along with the package website. and you can reach me on Twitter or GitHub. Thank you.